Hi, this is Jeff Stone of Grandpa's Pride Barbecue from the Panhandle of Florida, and you are listening to the BBQ Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how you doing?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. Welcome. It's a little thing called the BBQ Central Show, where we talk about barbecue and grilling items. We do it once a week, live right here.
We'll do it live. Okay.
Tuesdays from 9 to 11. It's a live show. Some Tuesday coming up. If you have nothing to do, you've watched all of the shows. Most of us have watched all of the shows. Safe to say. Try and remember. From 9 to 11 Eastern,
Boing.
I'm going to tune into the show. Catch it live.
We'll do it live.
Because we do it live. We're also recording, so if you missed the first hour, if you're just trolling through Facebook now to grab the video feed or listening on TuneIn and realizing that, oh my God, the first 3 minutes of this show are wildly entertaining. I've missed a whole hour of this? Oh, jeez. Well, I'm recording at the same time, so once I hit stop at 11 p.m. Eastern tonight, the Facebook video archive will be ready for available replay immediately. And then at 11:55 p.m. tonight, I release the podcast feed, first hour. It's at 11:55. I don't know when it actually makes it into your podcast catchers. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. Typically, when I'm up at 5 getting ready to get the old 5K in, it's there on Google Podcast. And that's really the easiest way to, if you're going to do podcasting, just find the Google Podcast app. Even Apple has the Google Podcast app in their app store. So just get that and stop futzing around with multiple podcast catchers on different devices and platforms and all. Simplify, streamline processes. Plus, Google is like way cooler than most everybody, and they know everything. Where do you go when you don't know anything? Google. What do people tell you when you don't know something? Google it. So use the Google platform. It's great. It's very smart. Still to come on the show this evening, oh my God. Coming up next segment, we will learn once and for all who is the American Idol Barbecue Central Show champion. Please be me. Please be me. Yes, Lisa. Please be me. We'll see. It won't be that long until we see if I am indeed the champion and gain the people's fame and adulation forever, or if it's going to be the new or newest embedded correspondent, Jeff Rice. I hope not. But the votes are in. The votes have been tallied. Record number of votes. Last month was a record number of votes compared to the first month. So from a popularity standpoint, American Idol Barbecue Central Show Edition is a raging success. Now, not to the point where Weber and Kingsford and whatever big freaking name out there in the barbecue community is saying, hey, we want to sponsor Barbecue Central's American Idol next season and pony up a prize pool of whatnot. And before you jump in and go, whoa, Greg, last week you said $100,000 to the winner. That was total lie. when I re-listened to the show, I didn't say, oh, that's a lie. I did say that immediately upon saying that the winner was also going to get a Sony Records recording contract. But maybe everybody drew that conclusion on their own. But I did not say that the money was BS. The money is BS. Myself or Ricer is not getting $100K cash if he or I win, and one of us is going to, this stupid singing contest. So don't think either of us are getting rich. And by the way, if somehow there was a $100,000 prize pool, since the votes are coming into me, even if Jeff won by 758 million votes, it would be me winning. For $100,000, I'll cheat. I hope that doesn't throw my values and moral compass right down the drain. But if the votes are coming into me and nobody else wants to set up shop through some type of price clearinghouse, water, Deloitte Touche, whatever the fuck it is, those odds are going in my favor. And I'm one of those people, run up the score in sports. Sportsmanship, run it up. If the second string is good, run it up. If the third string is good, run it up. I'm just going to, because I would expect somebody to run it up on me, so I'm going to run it up too. Likewise, in this kind of a contest, if $100,000 is on the line and I'm counting the votes and it's me or Ricer going to get $100,000, I'm getting $100,000. Let that be a lesson to all of you who are going to go into competition with me. Win if you can. As my dad always taught me, win if you can. Lose if you must. But always cheat. Always cheat. Because remember, it's only cheating if you get caught. And if you're not cheating, you're not trying. I got them all. People are tuning out left and right. Don't forget, you can follow me socially on various social media platforms, obviously, because I said you could follow me socially. At BBQ Central Show, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snappy Snap, /BBQ Central Show on Facebook. A lot of you are getting in on the Facebook likes and follows, and however the hell that works, I don't know. But a lot of you are getting on board. Coming up on the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less this Friday, episode 127 coming at you, taking you back to June 3rd, 2014. Remember the conversation I had with one Roland Neal? No? Maybe this will jog your memory. Roland Neal owns Mrs. Griffin's barbecue sauce. Now, does the name Mrs. Griffin's barbecue sauce jog your memory? No? Well, it only happens to be, potentially, one of the, if not the, oldest barbecue sauce in the United States of America. That's right. Lays claim to being the oldest barbecue sauce in the United States. So if you missed that conversation 6 years ago and you want to pick it up, you're going to get a whistle wetter on Friday, probably to the tune of 10 minutes or less. And then don't forget, within that post, there's a link to the whole show. Believe it or not, there's a whole other show around that bit. The whole segment, there's other segments within that show. This show's been going on for quite a long time. It's very fun. It's very exciting. Go back, listen, or make sure you're subscribed to the podcast to get the best of. Then click on the link and listen to the old show. That's fun. I've gotten a bunch of emails asking me when I'm going to do the podcast transparency segment that I mentioned on Facebook and the Tweeter a couple weeks ago. And I don't have an exact date locked in for that yet, only because I'm still doing some investigating and talking to experts in the industry, top men and women, if you will. And just know this. If you follow me on the social media platforms, you will know as soon as I lock it in. So if you're a business that is looking to do business with a podcast, you want to turn into this, If you're a podcast creator and you want to start down the road of sponsorship and potentially making money, you will want to tune into this. Or even from a live perspective, if you just want to get it on podcast, because I will be recording as well. So if you miss the live airing, you can grab the podcast. But I'm going to reveal the things you will need to know and do to stand out amongst the masses of charlatans that are out there trying to fleece you with their very lies. And the one thing that I have come to learn in this game, especially over the last 5 years or so, there are some seedy, lying-ass motherfuckers out there that are fooling some of the biggest brands in this live fire industry right now with their bullshit numbers and their inability to cook and their very real ability to lie.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Some of you are on the clock, and the clock starts now. Be afraid. Be very afraid. And if you think I'm coming for you, then I'm probably coming for you. Let that be a warning. Seedy motherfuckers. Take it to the bank. All right, let me talk to you quickly about Southside Market and Barbecue, established in 1882. Southside is the oldest barbecue joint in Texas. They've been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations, famous for the original beef sausage, which is coarse ground in a natural pork casing, and their authentic Central Texas barbecue meats. All meats, including the prime briskets, are smoked low and slow for many hours over real Texas post oak wood, shipping nationwide via the online store, southsidemarket.com. Shipping customers can choose to order now and ship later, include a custom gift note, and mail to multiple addresses without additional charges. I do that for Christmas. All shipped items vacuum sealed to ensure freshness and ease of preparation for the customer. All the meats are processed in their on-site USDA-inspected facility, on-site meat markets for fresh and smoked products. 3 different restaurants. Elgin, Texas since 1882, Bastrop, Texas since 2014, most recently Austin, Texas, I believe. Grocery distribution through Texas and many surrounding states, like, let's say, Oklahoma. 10% off coupon if you're doing your shopping online. As you get ready to check out, use promo code BBQ Central. That's BBQ Central, lowercase, one word, and you get to save 10% off the entire order. First time, every time, all the time. 10% off, southsidemarket.com with promo code BBQ Central. Jeff Rice is in the green room with bated breath to see if he is going to be the debut champion of American Idol. And while I was just getting ready to start talking smack about the expert judges, they are starting to file in as well. Well, this is going to be a hoot. Stick around. We'll be right back. The mics.
Monthly visits from a killer hog, a cooking guy, a man named Meathead, the author of Barbecue Bible, a grill girl, a bristly barbecue journalist, and the malfeasance of the barbecue world known as the embedded correspondents. Only found right here on the BBQ Central Show.
And we welcome you back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Pit Barrel Cooker, the most unbelievable outdoor cooking device on the planet, currently available 2 sizes with a host of accessories. Whether you're a beginner or professional, definitely a cooker you want to add to the arsenal. Visit pitbarrelcooker.com and tell them the BBQ Central Show sent you. All right, so we have an open subject. This is traditionally where you would find Sam, the cooking guy, but he told me to go pound salt. He's got money to be made, I guess. I'm speculating, but why else would you not be here on the show? Girls, can you believe that Sam told me to go pound salt?
That's ridiculous.
Totally ridiculous.
Crazy.
Ricer, can you believe that Sam, the cooking guy, said go... you got your echo button on there, buddy.
Me?
No, not you. Jeff Rice
Got
has a
it.
lot of cool technical stuff, but sometimes you push a lot of buttons and you hear yourself.
You forget.
Can you believe that Sam the cooking guy was like, hey, fill the segment. I'm going to do other stuff.
No, I'm highly disappointed in him,
Yes.
to be honest with you.
This is the place to be on a Tuesday night. I mean, look, I got...
What else does he have to do?
I know. I mean, I got 3 eligible gals here in the teenage years that
I
could
have
be
stuff to do.
doing plenty of other things, I would imagine, that would be way more
I got
exciting.
a lot to do.
But this is
Definitely.
the pinnacle of things to do right here. Be right here on the show. Hold on. Let me adjust the camera here so I
I
can
can't believe he would say that to you.
get everybody. Oh, that's all right.
He's fake.
He's a very big
Right. He's
star.
fake.
He's got almost 2 million YouTube subscribers. I can't believe he comes on as much as he does.
I know people who have 16 million.
You don't know them.
I know.
No, I know Sam. I know Ricer. How many YouTube subscribers do you have right now?
7,000.
Look at that guy. He's a budding star. I know Jeff Rice.
I have 0.
Jeff Rice comes on the show and actually sings, and he's got 7,000 followers. He had 10,000 last week, but then he sang, and now he's got 7,000 followers. That's what happens here.
How many do you
Wow.
have?
Yeah.
I think I have just over 1,000.
Oh.
Yeah. But I find YouTube to be cumbersome, and I actually eliminated the live stream today. And so we're only going live to Facebook and to TuneIn. Yeah. No, that's not what they all say. I'm telling you exactly what I'm saying. That I can't have time for that right now. I need to conserve my bandwidth.
For what?
So I can have a proper connection with Jeff, who's in Wisconsin, so my CPU doesn't blow up. I mean, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that, you think it's all just me floating along here behind the microphone and magically it happens for 2 hours every Tuesday. There's a lot of work that goes into this, ladies.
I know.
Of course.
I watch you do it.
Yes, that's right. All right.
I had wings.
Ladies, here we go.
Sometimes I edit your videos.
Sometimes.
I used to do your show.
Like last year.
Yep. It's time.
Fire. It's my first one.
It's time.
I think it's something.
Gal.
Shut up.
Gal.
Shut up.
Gal. It's time. It's time to find out who's going to pull off the win for American Idol Barbecue Central Show Edition. It's very exciting.
This is like The Voice.
Man, oh man. Well, no, this is like American Idol, of course. That's why we call it American Idol Barbecue Central Show Edition. Next season, it will be The Voice Barbecue Central Show.
Oh, wow. Fun.
Why not? All right. Now, quickly, as we look back on last week, some of the things that stuck out. For instance, I don't know if you guys recall this or not, but this actually happened right here on this show. Remember this?
Yep. Yeah.
Sounded a little more like this.
Around the crown and everybody's
Yes.
getting down. in this
Perfect
town.
harmonies.
Ain't never gonna be
Nailing
the
it.
same. 'Cause I settled
Where's
my
Big and
whole
Rich?
sound
Where's Ricer and
right
Rempy?
to
It's like
city.
one and the
I
same.
make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
'cause the girls, they are so pretty.
Everybody remembers that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
How could you forget?
Then burned in your mind forever and ever. Then, outside of the recorded duet, we took it a step further on the lives and went live. We actually did it live and sang our own songs. Jeff sang, of course. Jeff, what did you sing last week?
Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash.
Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash, a well-known standard, I think it's fair to say, in the country music world. And I went with the standard R&B smash of the late 90s, Anytime by Brian McKnight, which, after further review, may or may not have played to my success or detriment. Ladies, let's, everybody can see you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Maddie, let's start with you first. As you recollect over the lives last week, your thoughts as we get ready to learn who the winner of American Idol Barbecue Central Show Edition is.
I think that you did good. It chose a song that sort of pushed your limits, but I think that Ricer could have picked a song where it was less just talking and more singing and actually pushing himself and not taking the easy way out, but that's okay.
All right.
We're doing both of you at the same time?
Well, I mean, one and then the other. Marley, your thoughts on the live singing from last week?
I think you both did well.
I have to agree with Maddie. You did push your limits more, but Ricer picked a more not pushing limits song, I guess you could say.
Good words.
It's interesting language. Go ahead.
What? I can't speak. She doesn't know how to speak.
That's all right. Okay, go ahead. No, hold on. I don't think... Marley, are you done?
Yeah.
Did you review me?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
She said you both did well.
Go ahead, Bobby.
I think it was Ricer's best performance of the whole series.
Yes. Season. Let's call it a season. Why not?
Season.
Yeah.
I do think it was an easier song to pick for a finale. I would have preferred like a bang, wow, but that's okay. You, Greg.
Yes.
Picked more of an outgoing song, but I'm not 100% certain it was like the right outgoing song.
Because it wasn't well known, or...
Well, I didn't know it, I don't think.
Okay.
But it was also like almost too much for your voice.
It was too much of a I pushed myself too far to the limits. It was outside the limits, let's say that.
It was too much of a pushing limit song.
It was way too hard.
All right. Jeff, what did you think of my song?
Well, you certainly have awesome singing skills, to be honest with you.
Unquestioned.
I mean, you can, without a doubt, you can hold a tune for sure. So,
well, and likewise, Jeff, I thought you nailed your performance. And as we had talked through the course of the week, sometimes song choice, not sometimes. When you hear these singing shows, they always talk about song choice being key. And one week it's great, but then one week you pick a bad song, and then all of a sudden, you find yourself on the outside looking in. That's it.
Oh.
All right. Well, we've come down to it. There's been a record number of votes accumulated over the course of the week. Why, in the first 24 hours of voting, I have specific numbers that are verifiable. Over 187 votes were cast in the first 24 hours.
187?
In the first 24 hours. Wow. A total of 368 votes.
I thought...
And I'm telling you right now, in the first 24 hours... the decision was already cast. The term boat race comes to mind. It is my great pleasure to announce to you the 2020 first ever American Idol Barbecue Central Show winner. And that person, with well over 360 votes, is none other than the man from Wisconsin, Jeff Rice, the winner! The first ever American Idol Barbecue Central Show in crushing fashion.
Good job.
Wow. I mean, to see the votes coming in, I wanted to eliminate all email addresses that I had just so I could stop the bleeding. The ego took a swift kick to the balls early and often, and it was terrible. Girls, you've heard the results. In a dramatic, in a dramatic beatdown, perhaps that will likely never be matched again in the history of future seasons. Bobby, what do you think of the results? Justified, yes or no?
Yes. I think it was, or no, I don't know. Yes. I don't know.
Are you paying attention to the show tonight?
I don't know.
It means.
I think he.
Should there have been that big of a gap?
Oh. I don't know about that big. That's a lot of votes ahead of you.
No doubt.
But I think he did a good job,
All
and
right.
you did a good job. You know what I mean?
Yep, Maddie, your thoughts on the gap?
I think that because of the song that you chose and the song that he chose,
Yes.
it kind of makes sense just because not a lot of people knew your song. But in my defense, I didn't know his song either.
I didn't know
But
his
I
song.
feel like a lot of the listeners might have known that song, so it kind of makes sense. But you guys both did a good job. so that's good.
All right, Maddie, Marley, what do you think in the end?
I thought that the votes would have been closer together because I think you both did good, but I think he just got it.
You're surprised that there was that big of a gap. Yep. No doubt. Yeah, I can. All right, let's go to the winner of American Idol for his acceptance speech. Talk to the judges, of course, Jeff. It's Jeff Reiser for American Idol Barbecue Central Show Edition. Here he is.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, I'm shocked. I mean, I thought I was going to get my plate handed to me, to be honest with you. I thought I had no clue. Part of my probably my instincts is I'm a football coach for youth football, and I think my defensive football brain came into fashion, and I did make it simple. Let's just get out there and make it simple. But girls, you really enhanced my singing abilities by far, to be honest with you, because you pushed me to the limits, and I was working pretty hard for a few weeks on a different song, and at the last minute, I changed it, and I think it was because a little bit of the the pushing yourself. I thought if I push myself, I'll completely collapse on the air. So I did take maybe a little bit simpler, but again, I appreciate you guys telling me to sing harder and do better and try. So I did my best. Jeff, and I appreciate all of the people that voted for me.
Jeff, what was the song that you were working on that you dumped?
Du hast mich by Rammstein.
You got to be kidding me. Oh, my God, I would have won. I can tell you right now, of the people that are sitting in this room, that would have earned you one vote from the lady that you see on the left. Du hast from Rammstein.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maddie is a huge German rock fan, believe it or not. Du hast.
All right.
Maddie, sing a little Du hast. Yeah. Go. You're not going to sing it? All right.
Do you know that song?
Yeah.
She does know that. Yeah. Okay.
Dad and I know.
Well, there you go. There's Jeff Rice, the American Idol Barbecue Central Show, first ever. Ladies, thank you for being expert judges of the season.
You are welcome.
And if we can pick up a sponsor that will actually give us $100,000 next year, then we'll have a season 2.
You should make him a thing like on a piece of paper so we can hang it up.
Yeah.
How dare you?
That you can't take away from me.
Yeah, we'll get you a trophy. Well, you can't take away video. It lives on the internet forever, so people will be able to go. There you go. All right, so that brings a close to the American Idol. Jeff, thanks for joining me, of course.
Thank you.
And ladies, thank you for joining me, of course.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And we are going to dial up one of my favorite people to chat with right now.
Fun.
His name, of course.
Do you need us?
I do not. You are free to exit as you see fit.
Goodbye, everybody.
Right. See ya.
See you guys later. It's the expert judges right there on the show. As we learned my fate recently as not winning the Barbecue Central Show's initial American Idol. Shame on me. Chad, I don't know if you heard the results or not. By the way, we're being joined by Chad Ward from Whiskey Bent Barbecue. I'm going to throw him in here in just 1 second so you don't think I'm lying. Where the hell is it? There it is. There he is. There's Chad Ward right there. Look at this guy. How about that? The guy from Wisconsin beat my ass to the tune of plus 300 votes in the singing contest. I went R&B, Brian McKnight, for the final to really show the audience that I was willing to push the limits of my singing ability. Jeff goes with Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire, which requires zero singing ability whatsoever. You just have to have a nice deep voice and cadence. What do you think? I mean, you're a master of talent evaluation.
I think you had to go with something, Greg, that was a little more finale-ish. And I understand you're trying to show all those rights off,
the runs and all that.
Those skills off, but I mean, you got to go with something a little more upbeat than that. So I'm going to give you a bad judgment on picking that one.
Yeah, there you go. It's all about song choice, as the judges say. Look,
you got to go with something a little more karaoke-ish. You know what I mean? Like maybe some Garth Brooks. I got friends in low places, something like that. Like get the crowd going, get them feeling it.
All right, well, I'm going to consult you if we ever have a season 2 and B if I ever make it back to the finals. You'll be on speed dial for song consultation, no doubt about it. So I wanted to have you on here as we close out the first segment here in the second hour. One of my most one of my favorite conversations that I have ever had in the history of this show. And there have been thousands and thousands. A handful of years ago, you're at the World Food Championships. You come back on a Tuesday to recount your trials and tribulations. I think maybe it was in Vegas that year still, or when it was at Vegas.
Yep.
So it was the first couple of years that World Food Championships was going on. And you begin to regale me with a story that involves a Craigslist trapper, but not just any trapper, a bear trapper, and not just any bear, an 800-pound bear. And it goes on and on. Let's clear the air right now. Hold on. Let's clear the air right now. Is this a true story or not a true story?
This was I would say it was a bit of a fabrication, but it was such a good story to tell at the cook meeting. When you ask a question of, is a bear legal? And everybody looks at you as like, what in the heck is going on? That was, and it was one of those where it's like, we made the top 10, so we partied really hard the night before. And it's one of those where you kind of got to the cooks meeting and you're like, am I hungover? Am I still a little bit buzzed? Like, what's going on? And I just thought it was great, so I just ran with it.
So were people thinking, oh, my God? I mean, because it's not like you guys have a pristine reputation. I mean, you guys are a little rambunctious from time to time, especially back then before you really started to dial it in and hone in. You guys have been known to party a little bit, be a little bit brash and so forth. So were people really like, man, it's 50-50 with this guy. He might be pulling our leg, but he might be pulling in an 800-pound bear to cook running style on a pit from Brad Orson.
Yes, I would say there were some people that were like whispering in the background, like, do you think Chad's really going to go through with that? And so like to the point of view that like Matt Van and those guys went and got the groceries we had planned on cooking.
Oh, wow.
And I stayed back and people were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, dude, the trapper should be here any minute. Like I can't take a chance of him showing up and not one of us being here to, take possession of this thing.
So you were playing it right to the hilt.
Yeah, you got to be a showman. I mean, if you're going to tell a story, make it authentic.
Well, this has spawned, one of the things that I like to do is go on the internet and find things. Joe Rogan obviously has a huge podcast, getting paid multi hundreds of millions of dollars here recently through Spotify. But one of the things he has on YouTube are animated parts of his podcast. And I said, man, I think it would be pretty cool to find somebody that might be able to do that. So I started scouring the internet. I found somebody here locally, believe it or not, who does this type of thing. Talked to you and said, hey, do you have any issue with me animating the best bit ever that has graced the airwaves and internet waves of the show? And you said, hey, absolutely. So we worked out through our character descriptions here. And again, animated, but it's finished and it's ready to go. And I wanted to unveil it with you here tonight. Are you ready for the public unveiling?
Can't wait. Let's do it.
Like Bart Scott. Can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the animated Chad Ward bear story from World Food Championships world premiere right now.
Well, the problem was I had a trapper that had caught me a bear.
Like a real trapper?
Yeah, I had a bear. I had a bear on lockdown.
Who does?
And I was going to use Brad Orson's from the Shed's pit, and I was going to cook that bear running style.
What?
Hot and fast for 2 hours.
Really?
I was just going to get the loin off of it, man.
How big was the bear?
It was like 800 pounds.
What?
Look, the trapper already had it field dressed. Brad had already said I could use the sock.
My God.
We were going to do it. Because, dude, think about that presentation. I was going to cut the head off that bear and have a salmon fillet in his mouth. There is nothing that says surf and turf like a salmon in a bear's mouth.
You're damn right.
So, little do you know, this was a bogus trapper. So thank God we had 30 pounds of skirt steak in the cooler. So we get the word about 20 minutes into go time. Trapper's not coming. We got no bear. So we did skirt steak tacos and salmon tacos.
How about that? World premiere of the animated bit. What do you think after seeing it?
Man, it is awesome. That is so funny. The only line that I remember from that story that I wish we would have been able to work in there was, "Never trust a bear trapper you meet on Craigslist."
Yes, right.
That was a solid. But dude, that guy did an awesome job. That was great.
Yeah, when you go back and listen to it, I had re-fired up the actual video and made a quick bumper. And every once in a while, I'll post it. And it's a great video to watch as it happened during the show because, I'm sitting there and my mind is just boggling. You tell me that it's an 800-pound bear. I'm like, man, this is a real-ass bear. And he found this guy on Craigslist, and this could be a catfish attempt. I'm worried for your safety. And, then you're like, well, little you know that this bear trapper was fake. I'm like, oh, my. The story was unbelievable. So to sit here and find a guy who was able to animate it, and his animation was absolutely spectacular, was great. So, the goal here is obviously to comb through and find some, 1 or 2 minute bits that we can start posting up to the YouTube page and stuff like this. But I just wanted to say that, from your history with this show, Chad, it's unquestioned that you are one of the best recurring guests. You're a Barbecue Central Show guest Hall of Famer already, and we know that. But the fact that we have been able to remain friends over the better part of 10 years or so, and the content that you have brought to the show and the business that we have done together with the show is certainly unrivaled. And I just wanted you to know that I appreciate you both from a friendship standpoint and a business standpoint. You're really one of the best guys out there.
Well, Greg, thank you so much for that. And like I said, I remember when I first got into barbecue, I leaned on this show so much to talk to folks and get to know the personalities out there. And I always felt like even when I had my show and me and you talked about it, like when you have a show like this, it makes you understand that like so many people in the barbecue world are approachable, and people learn some of these, oh, I didn't know he was a Packers fan, or I didn't know this. It gives them these talking points that they can use to feel comfortable at a competition or at a barbecue event to go up and introduce themselves and say, hey, I heard you on Greg's show, or I heard you on Chad's show, or I heard you on this podcast. You know what I mean? So I think, I've always said you were the pioneer of barbecue podcast. You took it to the next level. Your production quality is amazing. And even when I wanted to start my show, you were such a great friend and so helpful. And so, man, I echo those same thoughts. I appreciate the friendship, and I love everything we've done. And if I can, anytime you text me or give me the call and say, hey, I need you, I'd love to be here. Love the Centralites.
All right, Chad. Well, I certainly appreciate the time you've made this evening, and go watch that cartoon 100 billion times because I know I'm going to.
Will do, man. Take care, guys. Thank you so much, Greg.
There he is, Chad Ward from Whiskey Bent Barbecue right there, as we have debuted the animation of the bear story from Chad's World Food Championship. I'm still trying to find the original show so I can actually point back to it so you can hear everything, but man, that's so fun and so exciting. Happy to share that with Chad and all of you as we debut the first animated bit. We have Dane Neal coming up out of the break as we went a little long here with announcing the American Idol Barbecue Central Show edition, that being Jeff Rice in a landslide victory, and then Chad Ward with Traeger Grills, TraegerGrills.com, unveiling the animated story, the animated bear story. If you want an animated bit, I can't believe I can actually say this now, but I know a guy. He's in Stowe, Ohio, which is like 25 minutes away from me. I had no idea. But if you're looking for, I can make the connection. All right, we're back with Dane Neal right after this. Stick around.
Celebrating over 10 years of prolific and unparalleled live fire barbecue and grilling talk. And yes, it's still being done from Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show.
All right, thanks again to Chad Ward and the expert judges and Jeff Rice for joining me last segment. This portion of the show being brought to you by Smithfield. Head to Smithfield.com throughout the grilling season as recipes And tips and tricks are shared by World Championship pitmasters like Chris Lilly, Darren Worth, Ernest Cervantes, and Childs Cridlin with mouth-watering flavor and no artificial ingredients. Smithfield Fresh Pork, quite simply the finest pork money can buy. It's trusted choice of World Championship pitmasters for use in competitions and at home. That's right. Okay, coming out of the bullpen this evening. Can be heard each Saturday from 2 to 4 Central on his show via the mega blowtorch known as WGN 720 in Chicago. He is the host of the On the Road with Dane, a lover of live fire, barbecue grilling, and eating in general. And we have a fight tonight as we race to the hotline and welcome back Dane Neal to the show. Hey, Dane.
Hey, Greg. Good to talk to you. And it's great. You're a lover of eating. Actually, you've been monitoring my photos as you see me expanding into other sizes. I'm wearing a triple X medium at this point.
Well, that is barbecue medium, no doubt about it. Triple X. I mean, way to go. I do have a quad XL Barbecue Central show shirt, so if you keep trying really hard and you cross over that threshold, I'll send you the shirt free of charge.
It's not for lack of desire, passion, commitment, and all that kind of thing. I just don't have the bone structure for it. I don't think I could physically hold the weight I would like to have. So I don't know. I may have to maybe just an XL. I think is where I'll top out.
All right,
well, I can handle.
No problem. Don't eat on my account, Dane. Stay healthy. Stay trim. All that good stuff. Dane Neal joining me here on the show. WGN, is it WGNradio.com? Is that the best website?
Yep.
All right,
WGNradio.com is the place to go. We've got a brand new website and all that stuff, and you can just check it out there. Lots of great features. Of course, we handle a lot of the food stuff for WGN and also motorsports and some travel and all the things, Greg, that aren't happening right now. We cover them all.
Yes, well, nothing like covering all the things that aren't happening for job security, no doubt about it. Now, we have an interesting thing that's going on here, though, Dane, which is called BBQ Fite Klub. And I'm a man of total peace, of course. I say with peace and love, but I think I might like a barbecue fight club scenario. So for the folks that aren't aware or been seeing some promo on this, give me the lowdown on what this event is all about.
Yeah. So this is one of those kind of moment in time things where you've got just like a lot of different people, whether it's in a lot of different vocations in sports and certainly in competition barbecue. So many people are on the sidelines, right? And so this was one of those opportunities where we just said, this is kind of a place in time to be able to make something happen. Give fans of barbecue, give fans of some of these personalities, something kind of cool and different to be able to check out, and kind of replicate. And we've all seen all the food TV. We've worked in and around a lot of it. Nothing wrong with it. It's all awesome. But to be able to highlight, KCBS, real competition, real, world champion pitmasters, not just personalities, have them in one place on one night with real KCBS judges, and kind of highlight what it is that they do, but in sort of that concentrated setting, and do it all for a global audience. So the first time ever that's happened for live pay-per-view.
Will this be something that is on a pay-per-view channel through a cable provider, or is it going to be a pay-per-view through some type of a web service? How do you hook up with this?
So this is on Fight TV, and so Fight TV is they're like the leading global platform for mixed martial arts, and they do all the UFCs and all the professional wrestling, and anytime there's a big time fight, Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather, they're the ones that handle that. So They do that. They do that over 100 countries. And so that's where it would be is at Fight.tv. But it's available so you can get it on your streaming service. You can watch it on your phone, whatever. Anybody's got a smart TV or your Roku or anything like that, you're able to go ahead and watch it as well. And so it's available everywhere. I know that for the Moto Fight Club, which is some of our kind of the genesis of the whole thing, is they did this last time with some of the biggest stars in Supercross. They're partners with this huge barbecue fans. They were with us supporting in a part of the BBQ Smoke down at Chicagoland Speedways. There's a motorsports connection there. They did it for the first time ever. They took 10 of the top Supercross riders in history, put them in an undisclosed location because of the pandemic. You don't need a crowd there. They could draw a crowd, but that's not what they were looking for. And did match racing, kind of have this collection of greats in one place to do it and it was bought in over 70 countries. And so barbecue has that same. We think about it just as kind of our indigenous, American food, and it is. But our stars, it's expanding, and I think the desire for, and I think the appreciation for American barbecue is happening all over the world. Our stars are traveling ever, and KCBS, Greg, they sanction contests in 42 countries.
Yep.
So there's going to be a lot of people interested in seeing this.
Who is going to be taking place during the fight?
I don't know that. So the Fite Klub, that is, so it's Fite TV, so that's the word there. I hope there won't be any fighting, but then again,
I do. I hope. I mean, TV and fighting is ratings, I think. So I hope there's fisticuffs aplenty.
And if we've ever seen hockey, right, that's one of the things that does it. So what we wanted to do is, you think to yourself, when it first got brought up to me, I'm thinking like, well, food has never been like a pay-per-view thing. We have great food entertainment. It's all free. It's all, other than maybe your kind of tell-all brisket recipe or different subscription services, it's just not the kind of thing that you typically pay for. So you'd have to think like, what would be something special? What would be something that would make it an event? Would be to do it in one night with all of these greats. We've got 6 different pitmasters in there that are there. We've got Kelly Wirtz from Four Legs Up Barbecue. We've got Bill Gillespie from Smokin' Hogs. We've got Bethany McAllister from 913. We've got Luke Darnell from Old Virginia Smoke. We've got Darren Worth. You can't have a great matchup without one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time, in there as well. And so it's a collection that you would not necessarily see all together and only against each other. And then we've got 6 judges too. So we've only announced 3 of the judges so far. So Ray Lampy, Dr. Barbecue. Now these are personalities. Obviously, you see them on TV all the time, but they are, they walk the walk as a certified judge as well. All that street cred. So it's a little different than Chopped or Iron Chef, right? Where you've got great personalities. Certainly, they know what they're talking about, but there's no scoring. The sports element just isn't into it. So they got Emily Detweiler from KCBS, and this is going to be a sanctioned KCBS contest, and so she's going to be in there as well. And I know you appreciate what it is that she's been doing. So she's been, I think, a great kind of force in barbecue since she's got over there, and it'll be great to have her there as well. And then Scotty Johnson, who is local. He's one of our Chicago guys, but I would say by far the most accomplished competition pitmaster in Chicago, Jack champion, world champion. So he'll be there dispensing his Midwestern common sense and kind of just the straight talk that he's famous for. And then I'm actually going to announce something. We weren't going to announce this until tomorrow, but I'm going to break a little bit of news on the Barbecue Central show.
Let me give you the sounder. Let me give you the sounder.
A Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
All right, Greg Rempe reporting from the breaking news desk here in Cleveland, Ohio, as we get ready to throw it down to Dane Neal for late breaking news. Go ahead, Dane.
Added to the roster and announced, it'll be a major announcement tomorrow and in the press releases. Leanne Whippen is going to be another one of our celebrity, but also very serious barbecue street cred judges for BBQ Fite Klub.
Wowee, and a semi-finalist on the 2020 Barbecue Hall of Fame list this year as well.
Yeah.
So
there's
4.
There's a lot of representation. You think about it, and for the listeners and viewers, right? They know that you are the live breaking news of barbecue. There's nobody doing what it is that you do. And for the Hall of Fame, because you have Blues Hog, obviously Tim Shear from Shake and Bake. He's one of the other competitors there too. He rounds out the list, of course, representing Blues Hog. And Darren Worth was nominated as well.
Yep.
So we're going to have great potential Hall of Fame representation.
When is this all going down?
So there's going to be 2 things that are happening. So on the 8th, which is Monday, there's going to be a live round table. So think about all of these personalities, these great pit masters. They're going to be there with some of the other personalities. Just basically, I don't want to say shooting the breeze. They're going to talk a little bit about career barbecue. They're going to talk about maybe some great, maybe unknown contest moments, some funny things that have happened, maybe some challenges. But also, too, it's going to highlight what I think has really been underserved with traditional food TV, which is like the most important part. And these guys aren't, in it not to win titles and championships, and that's great. And the trophies are awesome, but it's the community. It's that camaraderie. It's people don't get there, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday for a Saturday competition because they hate the people they're hanging out with. And that is one of I think the true special parts about barbecue. So we're going to get into all of that. We're going to have interviews with each one of the teams. It's a free preview, and that is Monday coming up. I think it's 5 p.m. Central Time. So you can click in. If you get that, you can check it out. We'll be previewing all of the stuff, and then then Tuesday at 5 p.m. is when BBQ Fite Klub will be there, and we'll have all the action from the competition itself.
If you tune in on Tuesday, is this something where when you tune in on a 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, that it's going to be a 4 or 5 or 6 hour event, or are you only doing one category, or is this going to be a whole shooting match?
It's going to we're going to be building in some of the interviews and some of the vignettes and some of that background to give people from all over the world kind of a taste of who these people are. And so we've been doing production. We've only had about a week and a half to put this together. So to figure out exactly how we're going to do it, everything is going to be shot on that day, and everything is going to be that day. There's going to be a lot of live stuff we're going to try to fill with some of this really great content. Some of those, times we've talked about it, Greg, ourselves. Barbecue isn't necessarily, something that has a big forward-facing public entertainment component built right into it. Yep. So we're going to be working on that. But we've got 3 cameras. We've got drone. We've got a drone. We've got an opportunity to get in there and see how these guys are working. It's going to be all 4 meets. We're going to have all of that, and then of course conversations with the judges and a championship belt at the end for the winner.
Is there cash dollar bills at the end too, or just belts?
Well, no. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
So since this is a pay-per-view, people ask okay, so where does the money go? Obviously, a good percentage of it goes to the platform, right? Sure. All the things that are necessary to create, a global broadcast and the production team and all that kind of stuff. But we wanted to, especially in this time, be able to. I've always been a charity guy and raising awareness for great causes, and I know some of the pitmasters have some charities that they're going to be raising dollars for, which is going to be great. And then, of course, Operation Barbecue Relief is near and dear to a lot of the things that we do. So they'll be one of the kind of overarching causes supporting. And KCBS, we think of them as, kind of the creators of great experiences and contests, but it's a non-for-profit as well. So we're going to be supporting KCBS. And then based on, and this is the way we did it with Moto Fight Club, because there isn't any of the normal either marketing and promotion and things. It's not television commercials or ads. Right. Just some great interviews on the BBQ Central show. We're going to cut in. We want to build into the pay-per-view and be super transparent about it. The pitmasters themselves, and even the judges. Because they are the talent that's doing this, and so they'll be a part of it. We're going to need them to help kind of spread the word and share it with their fans, and of course, we'll do all of the kind of traditional media that we can on our end too. But we want everybody to benefit from this, including some great causes.
Dane Neal joining me here on the show, talking about BBQ Fite Klub that's going to be coming up next week. So you have the free preview coming up on June 8th, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. And then Tuesday, June 9th, is going to be the main event, which you're actually going to have to get down for. And that's a ticket price of $9.99, correct?
Yeah. Well, and there was some, I don't want to say pushback, but people, so for Moto Fight Club and certainly for the fights, if you want to watch, heavyweight championship fight, I haven't bought one in a while, but I know it's like $50, $60 for some of that stuff. And so the price point for pay-per-view is high. I wanted it, especially when, we don't want to make it where people feel like they need to congregate. When I was a kid or a young adult, we would all get together at one person's house, and we only had to buy it once, and plus it was like a party. Well, with the, pandemic and social distancing, and we'll have those protocols observed, this way you can feel like you can get it yourself, and it's not, the end of the world. And plus, this is new. No one's ever done anything like this. And so I fought to make it as reasonable as possible so that people can do it. We've never had a pay-per-view food event. But I love the idea of kind of presenting these personalities in a main event kind of prize fight style that just is, I think, worthy of what it is that they do and hopefully what you'll see on Tuesday.
What are you doing for the production, Dane?
I am one of the commentators. So are you familiar with Stretch Ruminer? Of course, he's an artist. He's the one that creates the the trophies for the Barbecue Hall of Fame. He's a television guy. He does it all. You know, and of course he's got a lot of great establishments down there in Kansas City.
Yeah,
so
everybody knows.
He and I are going to be the commentators.
Yep.
So we're going to be So we'll be there in our gold ABC Wide World of sport coats, and we will be kind of calling all the action and saying things like "back to you" and all of that.
All right. So if you are down for watching some competition barbecue, the beginning of next week, again, the free preview June 8th at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, and then the main event the following night on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Check it out. What's the website again, Dane?
It's Fite.tv, and then all the social media is BBQ Fite, and it's Fite, it's F-I-T-E, and then Club, K-L-U-B, so BBQ Fite Club across all the social media. And I have to say, too, I wanted to mention this, is that Snake River Farms is going to be in on this stuff, too. We just talked with them, and so they're going to be bringing in some of their world-class products.
All right, so it sounds like a very exciting first attempt, and I myself am going to be watching for sure to see how this whole thing goes. I love to see how productions and live things happen and come together, because you never know what's going to happen in live production. That's why I tell everybody, if you never watch this show, you got to watch it live once, because you never know what kind of mischievous malfeasance and ne'er-do-wells are going to show up, or tech things that are going to be happening, and seeing how people overcome adversity, as I like to say. But hopefully none of that stuff is going to happen to you guys. And Stretch is a great co-host, so you guys know a whole bunch, and you know how to talk, so it should be a gas, as they say.
It should be good. And and I'm glad you mentioned it, because that's one of the things. A lot of these guys have been in and around some of the traditional television, and there's, sometimes it's contrived drama, and they're trying to make TV. So this is going to be just real drama, but hopefully, it won't be any kind of fake or contrived stuff. It's just going to be showcasing these guys doing what they do at the highest level.
All right, sounds good. This is Dane Neal. You can catch him on his normal show, On the Road with Dane, over on WGN 720 at the WGNradio.com if you're not in the local Chicagoland area. And don't forget to check him out this coming week on June 8th and June 9th for BBQ Fite Klub. Dane, good luck, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me.
You got it. There he is. Dane Neal is doing online barbecue pay-per-views. How about that? Who's getting down for the barbecue pay-per-view next week? Free on the 8th, $9.99 on Tuesday for the big competition. Before you do that, head on over to BigPoppaSmokers.com and get all the rubs and sauces that your heart desires. Big Poppa's has 13 perfectly balanced flavors of rubs and seasonings. They also own Granny's barbecue sauce. So if you're looking for a new go-to sauce that will please everybody, Granny's traditionally a powerful flavors remind us why we fell in love with barbecue in the first place. And aside from the premium selection of rubs and sauces, they got all the cookers, like a versatile, easy-to-use Mac 2-star General Pellet cooker. Big Poppa Smokers, the exclusive Mac dealer, even offering special packages. Not a fan of the pellet cooker? All right. Take a look at that All Hickory Ace BP. It's the only charcoal smoker that Big Poppa trusts on his competition trailer. And if you're not sure of what grill to get, call them, why don't you? 877-828-0727. Or shop their website at BigPoppaSmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA Smokers.com. Back to wrap the whole show right after this. Stick around.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
All right, we're back, and this portion of the show being brought to you by The Smoke Sheet. Sign up at bbqnewsletter.com and get a weekly delivery into your inbox. A great resource covering all of the live fire industry stuff that you want and need. bbqnewsletter.com. All right, all the way back in the first hour, we talked with Aaron Franklin. Remember that? Barbecue Hall of Famer. We also attempted to talk with Desiree Robinson, but got her daughter, Val Bradley, and we talked to her about Desiree getting into the Barbecue Hall of Fame. Second hour, Jeff Rice wins American Idol. Chad Ward helps me debut the Chad Ward Bear Story animation, and Dane Neal talks about BBQ Fite Klub. Big show planned for you next Tuesday. As always, September 11, 2001. I will never forget. Till next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.
This is Maddie Rempe from Cleveland, Ohio, and you're listening to BBQ Central.